Good morning, I'm all packed up, just leaving a flat bit of grass behind there. It is 5:30, which would explain about how well I slept last night. I was actually fairly quite comfortable, more than I am when I wild camped, but it was just, I had trouble pegging the tent out, the sides of the tent out, because there's quite a lot of stones and rocks in the ground there. I just couldn't get it tight and peg the tent down wherever I moved it, which meant the sides were just flapping all night and keeping me awake. Plus there's a bloody pheasant round there that just kept wanting to make a lot of noise all night. But today we got, I think it's only about 11 miles to walk today. I've got a lot of time to kill. I've got about 5.5 miles till I get to the River and I can't cross that for about 11 hours. So fortunately the Mothercombe Beach is right next door, so I might just kind of have a beach afternoon and just kill some time there. There's also a cafe there, I believe. I can get some lunch and kill some more time. Once I get across the River I think again it's only about 5.5–6 miles to Big B. And there's a campsite there. I believe you can just rock up and just pay online. So I'm going to stay at the campsite because it's right on the trail and it's about half a mile short of the River Avon crossing for tomorrow morning. So that's the plan today, a real slow walk to the River 5.5 miles now, and just kill time on the beach. I've been walking for about an hour now since breaking camp this morning, and it's been lovely and flat the whole way. Look at the path behind me. It's pretty much been like this since leaving Mayo, so you've got a good really 2 hours of walking of just flat ground. I can't remember having that at all really in Cornwall, except for when you're doing a bit of road walk, or South Cornwall, except for doing a bit of road walking. It's been absolutely lovely, but the downside is I do need to waste time this morning, and I am really clocking up the miles quite quickly, which is the opposite of what I want to achieve. So today I wouldn't have minded too many hills this morning. I'm not complaining. Yeah, literally I've just been saying how flat it's all been. There was obviously going to be a hill at some point. Here's me saying how lovely and wide the path is, and then I open my mouth and this is what we got now. Mid-cliff walking and just brambles. Just coming through a cow field. Now that's the first time on this trail I've actually been a little bit worried. Normally the cows just have a look at you and walk away. These ones didn't. They started just coming towards me, and they're bloody horns as well. And then they started following me for a bit, and that was worrying. I was unclipping my pack, getting ready to ditch the pack and jump the fence if I had to. I know you shouldn't be too worried about them, but you should have a healthy caution in cow fields, of course. But they never bothered me that much, but these ones, yeah, they were interested. Ooh. This is Meadows Foot Beach. I'm just coming past the beach here. I think it's Mothercombe Beach or Meadows Foot Beach. The estuary is just around this little headland here. I'm going to have a look, see what the tide's doing. But low tide was about 2 hours ago. So I think, well, it might still be perfectly crossable when I get there. Just have to have a look and see. I did pass another walker about half an hour ago, and she went across it this morning, so she probably went across it an hour ago. We'll have a look. So there is actually a board here with tide times and where to cross. That's showing you where to cross. The tide time for me is 5 in the morning and 5:15 in the afternoon. I'm going to go and have a look and see how low it is. You can see the better picture up here of where you've got to cross, diagonally to the left. I'm going to have a look and see how low it is, and then decide from there, because there is a cafe here that I'm going to have to kill time in otherwise. So let's go and have a wander. So this is the crossing point for the and you can see another jetty just there, basically where the woods are. You're aiming for this side of the woods, but that is definitely too high, so I'm not getting across there. I'm going to lose almost a day to this crossing. That's a real pain in the bum. There's no alternative either. I think maybe I could have pushed on last night and kept on that beach. I'd have made it to that beach before last night, and I could have crossed this morning, and then probably got to Bigby and got a taxi around River Avon. That is frustrating. It just works out at completely the wrong times for me. So what's the time now? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I've got about 8 hours to kill now. 8 hours. What am I going to do? Right, there's really nothing to do here at the Estuary, so I don't know what I'm going to do for 8 hours, but I've got a number of couple of taxi firms. My problem is this: do I just get a taxi to the other side of the which means I'll be in Bigby for midday, which means I've got nearly 24 hours to kill in Bigby before I can cross the River Avon? Or do I just get a taxi, skip 5 miles to the other side of the River Avon and just carry on with the trail? I think that's the obvious thing, really, rather than lose an entire day to these estuary crossings. Because I don't really want to spend 8 hours here. I don't really want to spend a whole afternoon in Bigby killing time. I got bored in the pub for 2 hours yesterday. So I'm going to phone the taxi firms, see if I can even get a taxi and go from there. The only alternative is to walk 9 miles around the estuary, but there's no point, because I still can't get any further than Bigby. And it just makes it a 20 mile day, and I can't go any further than I can today. So I'm going to call the taxi firms and see what the options are. Right, update. I've got a taxi coming. It's going to pick me up by this parking shed by Mothercombe Cafe. It's 40 quid. I'm actually going to go to Thurleston, which is the other side of the River Avon, and cut both these estuaries out. 40 quid's a lot of money to pay for a cab, but either way I'm going to be spending probably 15 quid in that cafe for lunch and drinks, because it's going to be a hot day and I've got 8 hours to wait. And then I will get to Bigby by lunchtime, and then I've got nearly 12 hours to wait there before I can get the ferry across on Monday, because the ferry doesn't run on Sunday. So I'm going to end up spending money in the pub there and keep myself entertained for, well, the whole day, the whole afternoon. So as much as it annoys me having to skip some miles on here, I think realistically I've got to be, you've got to adapt when it's a 630 mile trail, and these tyres have just not worked out for me. So I'm going to skip ahead to Thurleston, which is actually quite handy in some respects, because I wanted to get to Lyme Regis on this trip. I knew I was going to fall way short of it, so making up a day's travel, we're not losing a day's hiking. This is actually going to help to get me a little bit closer, or at least to Sidmouth. Sidmouth or Lyme Regis is really the only 2 places I can stop and get a bus back to the train station. So just going to wait here now for the taxi. It's probably going to be about half hour drive, but she's coming from Ivy Bridge, which I think is, again, it's half hour to get here. So still, I hope she's got air conditioning in the car. You can hear because of the wind, but there's Burr Island, so I missed this section here and got dropped off in Thurleston. But this area down here and into Outer Hope is lovely. Outer Hope's got a couple of pubs and restaurants there, so if you need food you can. I was going to stop there and have some lunch, but I've decided I'm going to push on to Salcombe and get something to eat there. I hope you can hear with the wind, but I've got to make a whole new plan now. Everywhere I think I was going to stay and get supplies and shop, it's kind of gone out the window. So today, Salcombe's about 7 miles ahead, so when I get to Salcombe it's only 11:37. The ferry stops running at Salcombe at 5. So I'm going to push on there, get some supplies in Salcombe, just jump on the ferry, and I think at Prawle Point, about 45 miles out, there's a couple of campsites there I can use, because I can do with a shower. So that's the aim for today. Oh, wow. That's the aim for today, to try and get to Prawle Point. And then tonight I'm just going to sit down and sort of redraw up a vague new itinerary for this. I think out of Salcombe now. These trees, this little woodland walk's a godsend. It's so warm today. The breeze has made it feel cooler, but I think it's about 24, 25. But it's been a good walk today from Outer Hope through to here. I haven't said much to camera because it's just been too windy. And it's been so busy on the trail as well. I'm just leaving Salcombe behind me over my shoulder there. There's a couple of lovely beaches, one as you walk in over this way and one just down here. It's a nice place. The ferry there runs from 9 till 6:30 during peak times, and it's £2.30 to cross. They'll take card or cash. I'm now going to try and push on 5 miles to East Prawle. It is the time 3:45. So 5 miles, let's say I'll probably get there between 7 and 8 o'clock. There's 2 campsites there, one's £7 and is basic, just a field with a toilet. And there's one in East Prawle. I'm going to try for that one. Just looked at the time, it's now 4 o'clock. If I'd have stayed and not got the cab, as guilty as I feel for getting a cab and missing those miles, I would only now just be getting my shoes and socks off, ready to paddle across the River. But then you come to walk the path and you don't have to miss bits like that. But I don't know what I would have done just waiting there all this time, all day, with as hot as it's been. So I think it was the correct choice to do. You've got to make compromises when it's a 630 mile trail. And there are times when you're going to miss ferries and not get the tide times right. final update of the day. The GoPro battery was running out towards the end of the day, and I stupidly kept the spare in the pack, so I didn't film too much towards the end. But I came into East Prawle with 2 campsites there. The first one I got to said pre-book, advanced bookings only. So I thought, well, I'll just go to the pub in East Prawle, and there's another campsite there, I'll check that out. And that one said advanced bookings only, so I thought, well, I'll go to the pub, there's no phone signal, my battery on my phone is flat, I can't do anything now. I'll go and have a pint. And then I'm in the pub, and you could hear people talking about, oh, he didn't let me in the camp, he didn't let this young lady in the campsite the other night because she didn't have a pre-booking. And oh yeah, and someone else didn't get in the campsite because they didn't have a pre-booking. Lovely people they were, but he didn't let him in. I'm thinking, no, what am I going to do? Because I've actually walked about 21, 22 miles today. It was 5.5 miles from where I camped to the River 10 miles from where I got dropped off by the taxi to Salcombe, and about 4.5 miles to Prawle Point, and about a mile. It's uphill, it's an uphill walk if you come off Prawle Point to East Prawle. So it's been about 21, 22 miles walking today. And I just thought, if he doesn't make any campsite, I don't know what I'm going to do, I'm so tired. And by the way, this campsite is really windy. If you can hear the tent rattling. But yeah, I just phoned the guy up, I barely got signal. I phoned the guy up and he just said, yeah, go and set up. So I'm so relieved because I'm absolutely shattered. I don't know what I would have done if he didn't let me on. Probably just gone to the pub till 10 o'clock, pitched up here in the dark. Because I don't think, it's all contour lines on the map, but I don't think there's any flat spots. So yeah, I'm really relieved now, and it's 6:44. I'm just going to go and get cleaned up, go to the pub, have some dinner. Fortunately, I don't start serving food till 6 o'clock, which is a result, which is the Pig's Nose pub, I think it's called. But yeah, I want to get cleaned up, probably have some dinner, just a quick pint. I'm too tired for anything else, and just hit the hay tonight. And also make a plan for tomorrow. So I think I'm probably going to aim for, I think it's Dartmouth, and then I think there might be somewhere I can wild camp shortly after there, but we'll cross that bridge tomorrow. So I'm going to sign off for the night. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you for the next one.